Welcome, welcome, welcome. How are you guys doing? I am wonderful. Come on in, come on in, come on down. Let's act a fool for a little bit with this review. We're going to do Sistas Season 4, Episode 3, Pleasantries. So, guys, remember in last week's episode, Danny had walked in to the salon, when Preston and the old girl was about to leave. So, yesterday's episode started with, her addressing Preston and, whatever. She was like, so, what are you doing here? Because I had no idea, guys, that he had never met Karen. I had no idea. And so, but then I was thinking about it. I was like, okay, so he's looking at her. She's looking at him. They never met. Okay. So, Danny's making light of the situation or whatever. She was like, so what are you doing? And he was like, I'm going out on a date. And she was like, oh, a date. You could tell she was a little hurt. I don't understand why, but you playing games. See, you had the man. Danny actually had him, but she want to play games. Okay. This what games get you. So, she making light and speaking to the lady and, so the lady was looking like, what's going on? Like, did I step in the middle of a Twilight Zone or what's going on? Because I'm not understanding. Well, Danny, she says some little fly comments or whatever. And finally he was like, oh, you're Karen. And she was like, yeah, Karen of Karen's Her Mastery or whatever. So, anywho, Danny and Preston go into Karen's office. And so he was like, what are you doing? Like, this is so weird. Like, this is so rude. I'm going out on a date. She was like, I see. So is this what we doing? Yeah, this what we doing. Like, did you say that to me when that's what you were doing with El Fuego? Like, I'm not understanding. I'm a woman and I'm not understanding. Like, yeah, that's what we doing. And then, she had brought up all this other crap. And so I'm like, girl, why are you even in your feelings? Like, first of all, why did you even come down to the place? And then, she get mad at Karen. Why? Like, why not just don't come down? And that way you can avoid the whole situation altogether. Like, what's the purpose? When you know for a fact what had transpired the week before. When you told him, all this about his redneck brothers and you didn't feel safe. And then he had his sister over there and, you don't want to talk about cows all the time and blah, blah, blah. Well, he informed her she loved talking about cows. As a matter of fact, she know more about cows than I do. Right? But what I liked about Preston, because he didn't entirely close the door. He said, you tell me the part of me that you want, because I'm not good at giving myself away in pieces. So actually, he left the door open for her to come back and say, look, let me stop playing stupid. Let me stop being dumb. Let me quit acting like I don't have sense. Because guys, when the show first came on, Danny was my girl. Danny and Fatima was my two. Those other ones, I was like, no, thank you. But Danny and Fatima was my two. My ride or dies. Do you hear me? Those two there. So, okay. So, they wrapped up the conversation and he leave, So Karen walks in and she was like, why did you call me down here or whatever? She was like, well, that's what we do. She was like, no, you miserable. And, basically she was saying misery loves company. No, all you had to do was not show up. That's all. You knew it was Preston. All Danny had to do at this point was not show up. But you wanted to show up because you kind of want to clown a little bit just in case it was him already moving on past you. You wanted to do a little clown, and I get it. I get it because I'm a woman, and honey, I get it. I get it wholeheartedly, honey. We ready to clown. We ready to act the fool for a little bit, okay? So, she tell Karen off, and then, Karen tried to act like Zach. I feel like Zach did. I was like, girl, let me get up. Girl, Zach always got to do something. Now, good and well Zach ain't put them together. Stevie Wonder can see that. Zach didn't have nothing with them getting together. But okay, whatever. You just had to mention his name this episode. So that was your entryway into mentioning Zach. It was. Okay, cool. So, my sinuses, guys, I'm so sorry. Okay, so, she leave out, hot and bothered. So Pam trying to crack jokes. Sometimes people catch you on the wrong day. And Danny looked over there at Pam and she told Karen, she said, get your friend. You need your assistant. You need to get her because I will. She threatened Pam and walked out the door. And I was like, girl, she hot and bothered. Her man is going out on a date with somebody else. You know what I'm saying? And you cracking jokes. This is not the time nor the place to be cracking jokes. Honey, you will get beat up. And it's not even really your fault. It's just the, misplaced anger that we tend to have, especially about our boo thing. So, okay. So I was like, Pam, you might want to, quiet it down. Zip it. So Danny leaves or whatever. Okay, so since I'm on Danny, I'm going to stay on Danny. So she leaves. She goes over to Sabrina. Sabrina is there getting ready because, her and Calvin have this date night or whatever. So she's getting ready. And I really did like that brown. I mean, she was putting on her brown boots. See, I love a nice plaid. No, that wasn't a plaid skirt. The shirt was plaid. But I like a nice plaid skirt and I like a nice plaid shirt. But, to me, I love that whole little outfit. So she goes and she let Danny in and she was like, hey, Calvin is taking me on a date and blah, blah, blah. And so she was like, I need some liquor. So she says in the kitchen. They always talking about Sabrina about the cheap liquor. The cheap wine or whatever. So she pours Sabrina some. She poured herself a whole lot, because she got a lot on her mind. She was like, Preston is out on a date. But then she also told Karen that too. She was like, Preston showed up when El Fuego was leaving or whatever. So she understand this is his, this is get back. So, she was like, what happened or whatever? And, she was like, he said, he saw El Fuego or whatever. And, so she started cracking all these jokes on Calvin. Make sure you take your vibrator. Make sure this and that. And so Sabrina was like, what if I marry him? She said, you won't because he's not your type of guy. And so she was like, you don't know. And, you don't know. Guys, when I do my reviews, I try to slide right past Sabrina because it's something about her just irritate my soul. Like, it's like, it irritates me. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's something about her irritates me. That naive, like she's so naive and it just irritates me, girl. Because you like, what, almost 40, I'm sure. And it irritates me. Like, I try to slide past her. I try to just ease her stuff in and keep it moving. Because otherwise, I just cringe when so let me just. So anyway, she rushed Danny out the door because she was like, no, I'm supposed to meet him at his place. And so Danny leaves or whatever and she goes home, but it didn't show her, but she leaves. Okay. So Karen and Andy so Karen goes over to Andy. So Andy offered her a drink. She didn't want it. She offered her some weed. She didn't want it. And she was like, why are you acting all sober? And I'm thinking, okay, maybe she's putting it together like, are you prego? Are you preggers or something? Because, you haven't been drinking lately or whatever. And, Andy's not dumb. She dumb when it comes to men. But, she's not dumb. So she was like, I'm okay, I'm chilling or whatever. And so Andy was looking and I was like, oh, she putting it together. She might not say it right away, but so they decided, hey, to go take the car for a drive. They go take the car for a drive. They going down the street. Next thing you know, the cops pull over. the cops pull up and, whatever. So, the officer, he was like, get out the car. And so she was like, I wasn't speeding or whatever, and so he told Cameron, he said, you get out too. She was like, me? And so she was like, she is a lawyer and blah, blah, blah. And so he was like, get out the car. And then all of a sudden it was like a singing telegram. And they was like, Gary is sorry, he's sorry. I was like, what? That was the most wackest thing ever. Like, don't have people pretending to be a cop just to pull me over. So therefore, that tells me evidently you probably have a tracker on the car because you knew when I finally up and left, right? Because remember, guys, she had said she didn't want the car. He said, I'm going to leave it. I'm not taking it back. So you have a tracker on the car, evidently, that alerted you that this car was on the move. So then you put your men on the job to go deliver the wackest apology ever. And then the man standing there with talking about he wants to talk to you. And Karen was like, no, she would not talk to him on the phone. She would not. And impersonating the lawyers and impersonating the officers against the law. And Daddy was like, it is. But she started humming a little tune, it got stuck in her head. He's scary, sorry, and you something. And I was like, whack. Like, who does that? I don't know, man. I don't know. If you need to put 1,000,000 roses in her office, building or whatever, don't have me stop pretending it's a cop. It's too much going on. Ain't nobody got time for that. And then, guys, y'all know Karen carry a gun, so... I'm thinking, okay, well, when these other two pulled out at the back, because it was like 4 total, I'm thinking, okay, she be done start shooting them, and now, you know what I'm saying? Like, no, that was whack. Like, no, that was whack. So, Fatima's sitting at home. Zach, he finally come home, and so she was like, is that you? Who else coming through your door, baby? Ain't nobody else coming through your door. They already know you psycho. Everybody know you crazy. So he was like, yeah. And so she was like, what took so long? And he said, it was a long day because they getting that house ready or whatever. And so, they started talking. He was asking, he was like, so I want to talk about Hayden. You really had that done, and she was like, yeah, but don't worry about it. We still talking about that or whatever. Straight gangster. And so, I really like Zach, and the fact that he was willing to take the blame for Hayden. Oh, he's ride or die. Because I was like, okay, a ride or die need a ride or die. Like, I don't need to be with somebody and they don't have my back, front, and sides. Like, dude, you can step. You know what I'm saying? Because if I'm sitting here willing to, be here for you in whatever facet you need me, but it's not returned, I have a problem with that. And I feel like they are the perfect combo, right? I feel like, man, they are the perfect combo. The yin to the yang. I do. Zach has said, I don't know if I'm a little scared or in love. I don't know what the feeling is, but her thing is, Fatima's thing is, just don't play with her heart. And I feel it. I don't know who I was talking to. I was talking to somebody. I think that was my aunt. And she was like, I don't know. She seemed a little crazy. I said, no, I don't think she's crazy. I think she lets it be known from the beginning. If you are a jokester, if you're a joker, if you think you're going to play with my feelings and all that madness, I suggest you step. Because I'm not going to spend all this time with you, develop feelings for you, and then all of a sudden here you come with the bull crap. And I think she let that be known at the beginning. If that's what you're looking for, a roller coaster ride, baby, we're not going to even get on it. And I think she just straight to the point. I'm all in or I'm all out. And I admire that. I mean, because that's how I am. Like, man, I don't want to play games. I don't want to play games. I don't. And if you want to get on a roller coaster ride or bumping cars or whatever, I don't want that. So we so they was talking or whatever, and she told Zach, she was like, that turned me on when you were gonna take the blame for it. And so they, had a little intimate session or whatever. And then Zach was getting ready to get up to go play basketball at 10 o'clock. And so she was like, where you going? And now I will say this, I think my girl has some trust issues. I do. And I think her and Zach are going to have to walk it out day by day. We're going to trust each other day by day. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm waiting for the spinoff. I have not seen any information, but I know it's supposed to be a spinoff called Zatima. So maybe once the house get ready and all that stuff, then maybe that's when it's gonna spin off. I'm not sure, but I know I'm all here for it. I'm here for it. I think they said they have 8 episodes. I'm here for it. I am here for it. So, she wrapped her legs around him. She was like, do you really have to go? And he was telling her, he was like, look at me. I love this part. He said, look at me. Whenever you get nervous or upset or whatever, you look off. So look at me, and I understand that. Like, look into my eyes and see that I'm not lying to you, that I'm not shooting you game, that I'm not trying to pull the wool over your eyes. Look at me as I look at you. You know what I'm saying? I get it. And so Zach was like, look at me. No, look at me. And I was like, you better go, boy. You better tell him. She was like, Zach, why I don't look in your eyes? Because every time I do, I fall deeper in love. I was like, oh, look at there. But, what I don't like is she constantly saying, if you hurt me, this or that. It's like, start with the threats and just roll with the relationship. You know what I'm saying? Just let it flow. Just let the relationship flow. You don't have to threaten him. He already know you crazy. He know you crazy. Right? He already know you crazy. So that's one thing you ain't got to instill in him. He know you crazy. Hey. Baby, he know, and he know. Right? It ain't no way around it. He know you crazy. And so so he get up, he ain't shower, nothing. I'm like, so you about to go to the park smelling like you just got out of sex. Like you just finished having sex. But okay, I don't know, maybe men do that, cause she wanted to go. He was like, there is no way I'm taking you around all those men. There's no way I'm gonna do that. You're gonna have to trust me, Cause at first she was like, I'm gonna go with you. No, we're gonna have to slow walk this trust thing, sweetie. Slow walk it. So, he was telling her, like, I'm all in. All I want is you. Right? All I want is you. All I see is you. All I want is you. Okay. So she let him go, whatever. So Karen all in her feelings. Because and Danny had said, Zach and Fatima was happy and blah, blah, blah. So all of a sudden now she go and call the pastor. And he was at the park, probably the same park that Zach is about to go to play basketball. Okay. And she was like, where are you at? I'm coming. Well, okay, no, this was next week. She's calling him because she in her feelings. And so, okay, so Maurice is at home, still making these jokes about Lass or whatever, that, Calvin, he is not my type of man. I need a man, not a fish or whatever he called him or something like that. And so they're making jokes, and then Sabrina come over because her and Calvin have a date. So she was just going to meet Calvin there. So, Maurice is still going off. And he was like, Sabrina, you know what type of man I like, and blah, blah, blah. And so she was, she said, he was like, did you have something to do with this? And so Calvin was like, well, don't forget we have a date. And they was trying to ease out of it. So they finally leave. Maurice pulled him and the dude to drink or whatever. And I'm like, child, stop. Like, just be homies. What? Be homies. You don't have to be lovers, be homies. So Calvin and Sabrina are out at this spot, club, restaurant, whatever. And so this guy walk up, and he was like, he remembers Sabrina from working at a different branch. And so he introduced himself. He was like, I remember you worked at a Dallas branch, blah, blah, blah. And she was like, yeah, I remember. And he was like, I would love to catch up. Like, he totally ignored the fact that Calvin was sitting there. And so he was like, I would love to catch up. Here's my number. And I would love to catch up. And so Calvin was like, hello. Because first Sabrina did say, she was like, this is Calvin. And he was like, hello, whatever. And he was like, when do you think you could call? And so Calvin was like, hello, we're out on a date. And so he was like, okay, I'm sorry or whatever. And he walked away. So now Calvin in his feelings. Like, how he going to come over here and disrespect me? That's rude and blah, blah, blah. Well, because the guy felt like you wasn't a threat. You didn't look like you were out on a date with her. So his friend, he said his friend convinced him to go over there and shoot his shot. So Calvin gets up, he done grew a pair, and he gets up and he walk over to the guy. He was like, that is so rude of you to come and hit on my girlfriend and blah, blah, blah. I'm her man. And he was like, oh, I thought you was just her friend. I thought you were just her friend. Basically, he was like, had you been sitting across from a man, then we probably would have thought you were on your date. But since looking at you and is it something I'm missing? You know what I'm saying? So Calvin, he was like, I said, baby, in this episode, I guess he was like, I am a man, doggone it. And so, he can't fight. Like, them two dads never taught him how to fight. Or maybe he was wearing some slippery shoes or something. I don't know. All I know is, the guy was like, you call me another one. And Calvin kept, Calvin did. And all of a sudden, licks was passed, Calvin on the floor. Like, dude, you... and because he was talking crazy. She was like, why are you talking to me like this? Why are you... I was like, I can't with her. Because a sister like me, I'd have went off on him. Like, you came over here to prove what? And now you laying on the floor proving what? You didn't prove anything. Like what are you doing? Ooh, it was a mess. But anyway, so, he was talking to her very harsh, And so, the dude hit him. Well, he did hit the dude or whatever, and so I think the other one kicked him in the stomach or whatever. So now you mad. I'm sure you're gonna be hot and bothered and mad in the car on the way to drop her off at home. So this ain't gonna be no good night. You know what I'm saying? That lead to the next day, because you gonna take her home, drop her off, and speed away because you in your feelings, because you wouldn't got beat up because you decided you wanted to make an example because these people assumed you were gay. Just make it make sense. That's all I'm saying. Make it make sense, and hey, make it make sense, Calvin. So, that was Andy, Danny, Fatima. Yep, that was everybody. So that was Sisters Season 4, Episode 3, Pleasantries. So, I can't wait until Danny and Rodeo actually have another conversation, because I'm thinking now, oh yeah, you coming to your senses because you see, honey, he can move on, because she was like, oh, she wearing her moo boots and everything. That Kim, I was cracking up. She was like, yeah. I was like, oh, you got some competition. Because she was like, yeah, I seen her. She wearing her moo boots and everything. Oh, well, honey, there is no shortage of men or women for people to sit out here and take this bull crap. There is no shortage whatsoever, okay? So stop it. Stop acting desperate. Man, look, if it don't work in one relationship, dust yourself off and the greater live, dust yourself off and try again with somebody else. Okay? Don't be no fool. Don't sit here and just hurt yourself and whatever. Keep it moving. Keep moving forward. Okay? Keep moving forward. So guys, I will see you all in my next video. Sean's Journey out.